In the heart of ancient Egypt, where the Nile entwines with the mysteries of time, a sacred city rises, Bubastis, the feline capital. Here, the air tingles with the scent of incense and feline fur, a tapestry of music and murmurs celebrating the goddess Bastet. Under her watchful eyes, cats roam like living amulets, revered and untouchable. But when a cherished cat meets its end, a peculiar ritual unfolds. Priests' faces solemn, eyebrows shorn away, express their grief for all to see. This curious custom reveals a world where devotion ran deep and whiskered companions were more revered than kings. Welcome to a tale of eyebrows and elegies. Imagine stepping into a world where every whisper of the wind tells ancient tales, and the sands cradle secrets of gods and guardians. This is Bubastis, the heart of ancient Egypt, where feline companions were not mere pets, but sacred symbols entwined with the pulse of a living civilization. Bubastis, nestled alongside the eastern delta of the Nile, hummed with a unique rhythm, drawing visitors into its vibrant tapestry of life and belief. At its core stood the majestic temple of Bastet, the goddess who guarded hearth and home. Cats lounged freely here, basking in the sun, adored and revered beyond mere mortal understanding. This was no ordinary city. It thrived on a complex exchange of cultural and religious devotion, where travellers marvelled at both its grandeur and the divine felines that ruled the roost. During the annual festival of Bastet, Bubastis transformed into a kaleidoscope of celebration. Pilgrims flooded the Nile, their boats forming a living carpet on the river. They brought gifts of music and perfume, amulets shaped like the very creatures they honoured. Herodotus captured it best. The air thick with laughter, songs rippling along the stone pathways, the dual towers of the temple casting their long shadows over the faithful. In this celebration, Bubastis became more than a location. It was an embodiment of deep human-feline connection, a bond of heart and spirit. Bastet herself was a complex deity, evolving from a fierce lioness into a domestic cat, a transformation as intriguing as the civilization itself. As a lioness, she embodied untamed wilderness, fierce and protective. As a cat, she became a symbol of warmth and domesticity, a balance of ferocity and grace that resonated deeply with her followers. The rituals within her temple blurred the lines between the spiritual and earthly, with ceremonies rich in the scents of incense and the rustle of robes. Women sought her blessings for fertility and family, while warriors called on her strength in battle. She was joy and wrath, woven together like threads in the fabric of life. In Bubastis, cats and humans lived in an exquisite balance. Cats traversed the city, blending into its markets and alleys, guardians in fur and claw form. They were protectors and beloved family members, integral to the public, yet woven into the private lives of the people. Architecture reflected their sacred status, with cat-friendly passages ensuring their safe passage. Farmers and traders relied on them for pest control, their nimble forms a bulwark against rodents and snakes. Bubastis wasn't just a city with cats, it was a city for cats, its roads and buildings echoing with feline footsteps, each one a divine mark. The festival of Bastet was a sensory symphony, as Herodotus detailed its music and colour. His descriptions paint a lively picture of flutists and drummers in exuberant processions, melodies interwoven with laughter and the soft purring of feline companions. This was more than a festival. It was an expression of unwavering faith in Bastet's benevolence. As the sun set in a blaze of colour, fires danced against the temple stone, casting playful shadows. Incense mingled with the spice and sweetness of the air, a lingering melody of devotion long after the last song had faded. Amulets and artifacts bore the image of the cat, sacred talismans capturing Bastet's essence. Crafted in artisans' workshops, these items were infused with the prayers and hopes of their creators, more than mere ornaments or icons, but bridges between the human and divine. The city's temples and homes bore carvings and representations that told stories of cats and their roles, enshrining them in a legacy of reverent imagery. When a cat died in Bubastis, it entered a sacred haven prepared to honour its soul. Cat tombs outside the city held these creatures, interred with the same care reserved for human family members. Each burial was a solemn affair, the grave adorned with food and precious offerings, a testament to the profound bond between humans and their feline guardians. These cats were seen as part of the cosmic order, eternally protecting their human companions beyond the veil of the afterlife. The mourning rituals for a deceased cat held deep significance. Priests and families shaved their eyebrows, a gesture of profound grief. Bare brows were a public testament to personal loss, a mark of deep respect and connection to the divine. As new brows grew, they signified the mourner's acceptance and healing, a reminder of the cycle of life and renewal. This ritual underscored the spiritual and emotional depth of the grieving process. Cats left their mark even in the ancient Egyptian language, with hieroglyphs like MW echoing their presence. Depicted in art, they symbolised grace and protection, often appearing with women as symbols of feminine power. Royal tomb paintings depicted noble women with their kittens, the silent language of hieroglyphs speaking across the ages. In Bubastis, commerce and devotion intertwined in the creation of votive mummies. The industry flourished amidst an economy centred on spiritual offerings, but ethical challenges emerged as some produced fake mummies. Despite this, devotion persisted, celebrating the enduring bridge between worlds. Though Bubastis has faded into history, the legacy of its cats has left an indelible mark on modern Egypt. Still honoured and respected, cats in Cairo continue to embody ancient reverence within urban life. The story of Bubastis isn't just a chapter of the past, it's a continuum of respect and mythology, remembering the ancient whispers of those who mourned with shaved brows. In the grand tapestry of ancient Egyptian mythology, Bastet's transformation from a fierce lioness to the domesticated house cat echoes the dynamic shift within Egyptian society itself. Initially, Bastet was a deity embodying the raw power of a lioness, a fitting symbol of strength, invoked to protect both spiritual and physical realms. In her leonine form, she was the goddess of war, a guardian for pharaohs, her wrath as formidable as the desert winds. Her presence in battles provided not just a spiritual shield, but also a socio-political assurance that stability reigned amidst the perpetual dance of order and chaos. Over time, as the sands of Egypt bore witness to cultural evolution, so too did the gods evolve. Bastet gradually softened, her ferocity transforming into a more familiar domesticity. This transition mirrored a societal shift towards the sanctity of home life, where tranquility became as valued as strength. Much like the house cat, graceful, yet capable of sudden fierceness, Bastet's nature embodied this delicate balance. She was the goddess of joy and home, yet echoes of her lioness past lingered, ready to reveal themselves when needed, symbolising the unpredictable nature of life in ancient Egypt. Bastet's influence extended deeply into the lives of women, serving as both guardian and symbol of feminine virtues. In a world structured by patriarchy, yet anchored by the essential roles of motherhood and domesticity. She was a divine protector in childbirth, offering both physical and spiritual resilience. She epitomized female strength through her feline elegance, becoming the embodiment of a woman's grace and indomitable spirit. This connection deepened in her rituals and festivals, often attended predominantly by women, where music, dance and amulets bearing Bastet's image infused gatherings with shared energy, a bonding over a divine feminine strength. Her role as a healer further highlighted the ancient Egyptian perception of health as holistic, an intertwining of physical and spiritual well-being. Cats, seen as healers themselves, were believed to absorb illnesses, drawing negative energy away from their human counterparts. Bastet's healing prowess was invoked in rituals where priests stroked living cats, believing this act would infuse the suffering bodies with divine energy. Temples of Bastet often doubled as healing centres, reinforcing her dual identity as both a fierce protector and a nurturing presence. Her calmness captured in repose, yet ever alert, a balance that resonates with today's understanding of psychological resilience. Ancient rituals invoking Bastet straddled the spheres of war and peace. When conflict loomed, her lioness spirit was called upon to inspire courage among Egyptian warriors. Her likeness adorned amulets worn by soldiers for protection. Conversely, in communities, she was celebrated with festivals that fostered unity and granted reprieve from daily tensions. The famed festival of Bubastis welcomed revelers in a spectacle of music and divine rapture, where Bastet's duality as a protector and purveyor of joy was vividly realised. These gatherings knitted the social fabric tighter, reminding all of the delicate balance she represented. Though often painted in repose, Bastet never shed her claws. They lingered in the symbols portraying her fierce aspects, watchful eyes and threatening claws reminding her followers of the ever-present potential for both creation and destruction. Her image in religious and military iconography underscored her role as an enforcer of order. In a community that knew only too well how easily tranquility could tip into chaos, Bastet's image was a deterrent wrapped in familiar, feline grace. Her multifaceted persona found vivid expression across art forms, from grand temple friezes to domestic clay amulets. Bastet's transition from a fearsome lioness to a comforting cat reflects the broader cultural metamorphosis in ancient Egypt. Her relevance stretched beyond epochs due to her adaptability. The changing societal canvas saw her embody both domestic life and divine force. Her symbols, her tales, and her rituals became woven into Egypt's everyday life, from bustling cityscapes to quiet homes. Archaeological remnants, be it amulets or inscriptions, highlight her lasting relevance, echoing a narrative of transformation that persisted through Egypt's dynastic ebbs and flows. In daily Egyptian life, cats transcended mere companionship. They were living avatars of Bastet, symbols of protection grace. Revered as family, their presence was woven into the daily goings-on of a household, from household chores to spiritual observances. Cats roamed freely among the sacred and mundane, considered both hunters and healers in this earthly plane. The importance of these felines resonates through relics and rites, reminding us that Bastet's divine influence lingered not just in the grand temples, but also in the heart of ordinary Egyptian life. Festivities dedicated to Bastet merged joy with reverence, uniting society in celebration. The grand festival of Bubastis saw thousands gather along the Nile, their boats alive with flowers, music, and laughter. A sensual cascade where nobility and commoner moved as one in worship. These celebrations underscored a shared human need for connection through joy and devotion. They left in their wake a collective sense of renewal, solidifying Bastet's omnipresence in Egyptian culture and hearts. Today, much like the whispers of a gentle breeze through ancient reeds, Bastet's influence persists. Modern Egypt retains a fondness for cats, their silent footsteps a testament to a divine legacy. As guardian figures, their imagery remains potent in art and thought, bridging past and present. Even outside Egypt's borders, Bastet's presence lingers in our fascination with cats as mystical protectors. Her journey from fierce deity to domestic guardian tells a universal tale of adaptability and resilience. A whisper from the past that still resonates deeply in our contemporary world. In ancient Egypt, the bond between humans and cats transcended life, manifesting vividly in their final rites. When a beloved feline companion passed, the Egyptians treated its body with the same reverence afforded to humans, embarking on an elaborate journey into the afterlife. This began with the sacred art of mummification, where priests delicately anointed the cat's body with fragrant holy oils. The oils were believed to purify and safeguard the spirit, the ka, from the decay that marks the end of mortal existence. These rituals were meticulous, grounded in the belief that these divine beings deserved an unbroken journey to rest beside Bastet, their celestial protector. Once the purification was complete, the painstaking process of desiccation took centre stage. The cat's body was enveloped in natron, a naturally occurring salt that once sparkled along the banks of ancient soda lakes, the powdery scent mingling with the desert sands. Over nearly 70 days, the process unfolded like an ancient ballet dedicated to the ancients, with each step reinforcing the ties between the physical and spiritual planes. Wrapped snugly in linen, sometimes encasing amulets close to their tiny hearts, the mummified cats were not just remnants of life. They were mystical symbols bridging earth and the divine, held together by the weaver's whispered incantations. As if narrating a tale of devotion, these mummies found their eternal homes in elaborately crafted coffins. The wealthy chose bronze or wood, enshrined with gleaming gold or jewels, each vessel telling its own story of protection, fertility, and companionship. Even the shimmer of sunlight on the Nile was captured in these coffins, their surfaces engraved with symbols that whispered of forgotten tales. For those less affluent, simplicity did not dilute devotion. Even basic wooden boxes, etched with hieroglyphs that relayed a cat's name, spoke volumes about the respect held for these creatures. In cities like Bubastis and Saqqara, entire cemeteries were set aside for these revered creatures, sacred grounds distinct from the quiet human necropolises. It seemed as though the very sands vibrated with the spectral energy of lives well lived, now lying beneath them in peace. Among the paws folded beneath layers of linen, beneath lids closed in the eternal night, these cats awaited rebirth in the celestial realm of Bastet. Their burial grounds were more than final resting places. They were vibrant corners of cultural worship. Visitors would wander among statuettes and headstones depicting feline forms, offering food, jewellery, and toys, hoping to curry favour for both their earthly and ethereal quests. Cats also occupied practical roles as protectors of the granaries that bordered these sacred sites. Their guardianship over bundles of precious grain mingled the sacred with the mundane, showing how deeply they were woven into the fabric of everyday life. In this dual role, they demonstrated not only spiritual might, but crucial economic importance, preserving food supplies critical for survival. These nimble guardians, moving silently among the stacks of grain, merge the consecrated with the pragmatic, ensuring sustenance in times of hardship while maintaining harmony in the cosmos. Adornment was another form of their veneration. The quiet jingle of tiny bells on anklets, the gleam of gold collars, and the soft shine of amulets hanging from cords around the necks of these creatures reflected the deep belief in a divine connection, whether crafted for protection or good fortune. These items, be they simple wooden trinkets or opulent gold, emphasised the universal acknowledgement of the cat as a symbol of beauty and spiritual companionship. They were adorned not just as pets, but as esteemed messengers of Bastet, their gaze mirroring the wisdom of an age-old oracle. Hieroglyphs further immortalised their significance, with the symbol for cat echoing a gentle meow, an acknowledgement of their intelligence and grace, etched in stone and ink. These written tokens served as veritable bridges to a world where feline presences wandered side by side with humans, their representations woven into tapestries of daily life scenes. Cats appeared with women and children in tombs, where each figure wove intricate stories of fertility and boundless affection, solidifying the cat's status as a guardian spirit. The devotion to cats has left an unmistakable imprint on history, reverberating through time to contemporary culture. In modern Egypt, echoes of this ancient bond continue to ripple through communities where cats, much like their revered ancestors, roam freely, carrying on their pest control roles. Museums around the world remain captivated by these mummified figures and their adornments, showcasing the allure they've long held over humanity. Today's mystery and admiration, fueled by ancient legends and modern fascination, fondly remind us of a time when cats were seen as creatures of both flesh and divinity, each whisker a thread woven into the great tapestry of life, a legacy both mystic and enduring. In ancient Egypt, the death of a cat was not a mere passing, but a momentous event, marking the departure of an embodiment of Bastet, the goddess who guarded the hearth and home. Cats were seen as earthly vessels of the divine, weaving through households as both protectors and cherished family members. Their deaths were considered small ruptures in the divine fabric, demanding a procession of visible mourning. Priests, intermediaries between the gods and mortals, undertook the unique ritual of shaving their eyebrows, an act as conspicuous as it was symbolic, showcasing bereavement with more clarity than tears or chants ever could. It was as if the face itself became an open scroll, announcing sorrow to everyone under the Egyptian sun. This unique expression of grief soon rippled beyond the sacred temple precincts into the hearts of households across Egypt. What began as a priestly ritual evolved into a communal expression, symbolising unity not only with the divine but also within families. Over time, the absence of eyebrows became a culturally emblematic tradition, akin to watching leaves fall in autumn, a cycle signalling change and the coming together of society in shared loss and reverence. Faces stripped of eyebrows became living canvases, illustrating the deep bond between humans and their whiskered companions, weaving a tapestry of life, loss and renewal that resonated through ancient Egyptian society. Throughout urban centres where temples intermingled with daily life, a shaved eyebrow grew into a poignant symbol of shared spiritual values. It transcended personal grief, echoing throughout the community as a testament to interconnectedness and respect. Walking with brows bare, priests moved through markets and along the Nile, silently sermonising respect and reminding the populace of their spiritual binds. This display of mourning blurred social and economic divisions, connecting priests in grand robes with commoners in simpler garb through a shared devotion to their feline protectors. Within this practice lay a reflection of human society's symbiosis with nature, capturing life cycles and sacred duties as an unspoken narrative. Eyebrows vanishing with the passing of cats echoed an ancient philosophy, a constant reminder of mortality and reverence for life's fragile beauty. Egyptians communicated profound philosophical narratives without a word, fostering kinship across society, interconnected by their devotion to Bastet's kin. With missing brows standing as tender voids, Egyptians expressed their loss, heralding care for all life as a cultural and religious hallmark. The ritual was as much an alteration of appearance as it was an act of faith. Within a culture that thrived on symbolism, the absence of eyebrows marked an aesthetic disturbance, a solemn reminder of spiritual duty and devotion. Much like the intricate details and narratives carved into temple walls, the act of removing one's eyebrows was a profound declaration of humility and transformation. In removing the emphasis from the face, individuals unmasked themselves before Bastet, shedding their earthly vanities to bare a soul in true mourning. This sense of nakedness extended into the temples, where priests presented themselves in this humility, standing unadorned in solidarity. It was a choice signalling commitment to their faith, mirroring the pyramidal silhouettes cast against the desert sky, an emblem of transformation, an unwavering dedication to Bastet's divine essence. Ritual mingled with aesthetics, revealing vulnerability and strength, and inviting deeper reflection on spiritual aspirations. Beyond temples, Egyptians grew this tradition into their homes, making it a practice of shared sorrow and reverence. Within households where cats functioned as guardians and good luck charms, families adopted the priestly custom. Here, cats were members of the household, memorialised with eyebrow shaving, even when temple priests were absent. This cultural resonance highlighted how sacred traditions permeated everyday life, knitting together a society firmly rooted in its spiritual and cultural past. Adoption by commoners further demonstrated the pervasive influence of temples on daily existence across Egypt. Such practices crossed from noisy cities into quieter villages, demonstrating an inclusivity that rendered social stratification almost invisible. Cats, whether preserved or laid quietly by the hearth, knitted strong communal and cultural ties. This echoed of sacred guardianship turned into an enduring tradition that transformed Egyptian households into sanctuaries of solace and unity. To outsiders, the act of eyebrow shaving might seem mystifying, but within Egyptian culture, it was a profound gesture of societal contracts, an acknowledgement of divine reverence and duty. This vibrant display demanded recognition of cats as divine beings, adorning life with their protective presence. It impressed onlookers with societal values layered into Egyptian culture, with public conversations sparked by a priest's missing brows. Shared stories commemorated not just the cats, but their role as sacred links within the family, anchoring families in joy, loss and reverence. The act extended beyond public symbolism, nurturing a personal spiritual journey. Without their eyebrows, grieving individuals faced a loss echoing the void left by their feline companions. Egyptians, entrenched in displays of faith, accepted this as a practice steeped in respect and acceptance of the life and death dance. Stripped of this familiar feature of their human form, they confronted mortality, accepting the cycle where creation existed with fleeting grace. Such exercises in bareness deepened empathy for those divine cats, integrally woven into human gestures and mutual adoration. Priests charged with spiritual responsibilities embrace this personal metamorphosis, becoming visual reminders of progression and loss. This shared act became a catalyst of divine encounters and deeply personal discoveries. Each missing eyebrow became threads in the tapestry of Egyptian culture, embodying both personal and collective journeys steeped in tradition. Eyebrows disappearing in the ever-turning wheel of time came to symbolise a communion with the eternal, binding the present to an endless cycle of renewal ordained by divine appreciation. In the sun-drenched lands of ancient Egypt, cats were treated not just as cherished pets, but as living manifestations of the divine. To catch a glimpse of a cat lounging in a temple courtyard or roaming freely in a bustling household was to see Bastet herself, the goddess of home, fertility, and protection. Their presence promised good fortune and divine favour, and they were often cared for with a tenderness that sometimes exceeded that afforded to human kin. These creatures wielded a spiritual weight that dictated the rhythm of daily life, providing warmth and companionship while guarding grain stores from destructive pests. The adoration of cats transcended simple affection. It was a cultural doctrine ingrained into the very fabric of Egyptian society. They embodied the nurturing and protective aspects of Bastet, ensuring that the people regarded them as both holy and heroic figures in the cosmic order they sought to uphold. Harming a cat was not merely frowned upon as an act of cruelty, it was considered a grave offence against the gods, one that demanded severe retribution, often in the form of capital punishment. Such was their sacrosanct status that they occupied an untouchable pedestal in society, a testament to the seamless interconnection between human, animal, and the divine. Diodorus Siculus, the Greek historian, offers a chilling portrayal of the consequences of violating this sacred trust. During the era of Ptolemaic Egypt, a time when Greek and Egyptian cultures intertwined, a Roman soldier unwittingly sealed his fate by killing a cat. The act unleashed a cascade of collective fury, as the soldier found himself ensnared in a web of indignation, spun by the local populace. He had unwittingly crossed an invisible threshold, and a throng of citizens bound by a reverence for their feline protectors gathered with a singular aim: to exact justice. The pharaoh, mindful of diplomatic ties yet tethered to age-old traditions, stood aside, allowing the mob's actions to serve as a sombre reminder of the untouchable nature of these creatures. At the core of Egyptian legal thought lay the principle of Ma'at, the concept of cosmic harmony. Cats held a critical place within this legal and spiritual framework, their protection assured by an understanding that any harm could unbalance the world. Such were the peculiarities of Egyptian jurisprudence that trials, when convened, were rituals aimed at restoring equilibrium, rather than determining guilt through meticulous evidence. This distinctive justice system highlights how profoundly spiritual tenets were woven into the governance of society, underscoring a collective value system that favoured divine alignment over individual prerogatives. The reverence for cats also left an indelible imprint on Egyptian culture, influencing art, literature, and iconography. From humble farmer to esteemed noble, the cat served as a pervasive emblem of protection and prosperity. Cats grace the surfaces of pottery and tombs alike, their likeness serving as a constant reminder of their spiritual and practical roles. The cultural expectations that surrounded them fostered an environment of vigilant compliance with religious norms, wherein any transgression against these creatures was swiftly met with communal censure. While Egyptians insulated cats in a protective cocoon of sacred regard, other ancient civilizations viewed animals through different lenses. Contrary to the divine status in Egypt, cats in ancient Rome were perceived as common creatures, secondary to dogs, which were cherished for their loyalty and utilitarian roles. This stark divergence illustrates the broader contrasts in ancient worldviews. Herodotus, the Greek ethnographer, noted such cultural idiosyncrasies, capturing the bewilderment felt by outsiders when confronting Egypt's peculiar reverence. Priests in Egyptian society held sway over this intricate network of belief and practice, functioning as earthly conduits to the divine realm. They ensured the sanctity of cats was upheld through regular rituals, dedicating their lives to honouring Bastet and preserving her influence across the land. Their authority extended beyond temple precincts, shaping local customs and legal frameworks that safeguarded these sacred animals, cementing the priests' impact as both religious guides and societal stewards. Public sentiment was a formidable force, aligning citizens in collective acts of vigilance that transcended mere bureaucratic processes. Instances of harm towards cats often summoned immediate justice at the hands of an enraged populace, showcasing a spontaneous yet profound mode of communal regulation. This fierce allegiance to divine principles wasn't solely driven by affection, but was deeply tied to maintaining cosmic order. The Egyptians believed that Bastet's benevolence and the community's prosperity depended on upholding this divine respect, creating a potent mix of fear, devotion, and duty. Yet not all feline legends involve the mob's fervour. Queen Sobek-Neferu's reign saw a gentler hand guiding human interactions with the divine. Her decree emphasising kindness towards animals represented a softer approach in ensuring cosmic balance. This compassionate leadership sent ripples through Egyptian governance, promoting a vision where empathy for creatures seen as divine messengers fostered societal unity. In life and beyond, cats were the Egyptians' steadfast companions. Tombs filled with mummified felines attest to their esteemed role, guiding souls through the afterlife. Their entwined destinies a testament to enduring kinship. Such practices reveal a culture deeply invested in spiritual continuity, orchestrating a dance between earthly existence and eternal presence. Indeed, the ancient Egyptians offer modern society profound lessons through their veneration of cats. They compel us to reflect on our relationship with nature and the depths of our cultural bonds to the world. In their dedication to the cosmic symphony, Egyptians teach that harmony with the environment and all its inhabitants is not merely a relic of history, but an enduring mandate for the present and future. In the heart of ancient Egypt, granaries stood not merely as storage but as lifelines, the banks of survival, where the fertile yield of the Nile was kept safe for the future. These granaries faced relentless threats from swarms of rodents that could turn a bountiful harvest into a feast for rodents in just days. Enter the cat, not merely a pet but a saviour, a guardian angel draped in fur, revered for its precision and hunting prowess. Their sleek forms slinked across straw-strewn floors with eyes sharp and luminous, attending to their duty with an innate elegance that struck dread into the hearts of every vermin. This alliance between humans and cats was not simply convenient but vital. Cats protected these vital resources, ensuring a degree of food security that could mean the difference between feast and famine. Farmers laden with sacks of new grain would leave offerings at the feet of these feline sentinels, acknowledging the balance they upheld. Their relationship with humans was a pact of mutual survival, a bond that tethered divine favour to earthly sustenance. The cats, in their silent majesty, represented assurance and abundance, a living testament to the symbiotic dance between human aspiration and nature's gifts. In the tranquil sanctuaries of temples, the divine presence of cats loomed as large as their practical contributions. Here among the sacred stones, they lived in sacred harmony, vessels of spiritual significance and earthly practicality. Their lithe bodies moved through temple halls, the purring undercurrent to an otherwise hushed and reverent atmosphere. Priests watched closely, interpreting each feline gesture as an omen, a silent message from the gods carried in the flicker of a tail or the twitch of a whisker. The shared space of humans and cats within these temples was a microcosm of cosmic balance, where earthly needs met divine purpose. Milk offered in simple stone bowls beneath majestic statues served dual purposes: the nourishment of gods and the drawing in of cats as holy protectors. This deliberate overlap of ritual and practicality ensured temples remained bastions of spiritual and material order. The gentle lapping of a cat's tongue against the cool surface of milk was a reassurance of divine intercession. As day gave way to night, the temple echoed with this seamless integration of the divine and the mundane, a harmony only disturbed by the rumble of a cat's contented purr. Priests robed in white linen engaged in a daily partnership with their feline companions. These bonds transcended mere utility, rooted in a blend of reverence and necessity. Cats provided protection in ways both seen and unseen, their every movement a potential sign from the divine. The priests nurtured these relationships, understanding that the cats were indispensable to the temple's sanctity. In return for their celestial services, cats enjoyed the priest's care and stewardship, their sleek forms roaming these echoing corridors as integral parts of temple life. Even in the battle for faith's integrity, cats played a role more strategic than symbolic. In times of precarious wealth within temples, their presence served as a natural deterrent against invaders of more fleshly concern. This tactical use of cats highlighted their versatility, straddling both sacred and secular realms with ease. A testament to the ancient Egyptians' ingenuity, this partnership underscored their belief in nature's power to fortify divine spaces. Beyond the temple confines, cats continued their sacred duties within Egyptian homes. They symbolise protection, comforting families with their divine association as living amulets of Bastet. The soft rumble of a cat's purr could soothe not just hearts but heal invisible wounds. When a family welcomed a cat, they invited a piece of the sacred into their lives, a reminder that the divine was never far. In this way, households became small sanctuaries wherein the divine realm mingled with daily life. The narrative of cats in ancient Egypt is more than history. It's a testament inscribed not just in papyrus, but in the very tapestry of existence. Across temple ruins and forgotten granaries, the spirit of these feline guardians persists, whispering of a time when they were gods incarnate, protectors of a world where the divine and mundane intertwined. Their legacy lives on not only in the annals of the past, but within the eternal corridors where their feet once tread, captured forever in the collective memory of a civilization that venerated them as sacred. In the world of ancient Egypt, where the Nile's gentle murmur lulled the sands into a timeless dance, cats held an honoured place, immortalised not just in life but in language. The hieroglyph for cat, or mayobu, echoes the sound of a soft meow, bridging stone and flesh. This onomatopoeic touch was both poetic and practical, capturing the essence of the cat's presence and underscoring its importance in daily Egyptian life. These hieroglyphs adorn tombs and temple carvings, their silent meows whispering tales of cherished companionship and divine association with Bastet, the cat goddess. Visions of mist-shrouded tombs reveal cats sitting regally beside women and children, poised as guardians of the afterlife. These felines were seen as eternal protectors, offering comfort beyond the mortal coil. In the shadow-laden tomb art, scenes of domestic tranquility come alive, with cats nestled among feasting families. Any observer can feel the warmth of a remembered home. These depictions weren't mere ornamentation. They symbolised the desired continuity of family harmony and fertility in the realms beyond death's door. They were tactile dreams, crafting a narrative of desired peace and perpetuity. The human-like elegance of cats in these ancient depictions resonates most profoundly with Egyptian women, reflecting a unique tie to femininity and fertility. The symbiotic relationship between women and cats, evidenced in graceful poses and intimate scenes, mirrored societal values where female figures were central to family stability and life-giving roles. The coupling of feminine grace and feline mystique captures the essence of nurturing warmth and mysterious independence. Art further explored this connection through dancers who mimicked cats, their movements echoing feline grace, celebrating the duality of life's elemental forces. Even the aristocracy was enamoured with these creatures, integrating them into their symbols of power and prestige. In the flickering torchlight of palatial chambers, royal women cradling cats embodied an ideal of grace and authority. Cats, the guardians against chaos, became symbols of royal elegance and strength, their presence entwined with the aspirations of those who ruled. The nobility, by aligning themselves with these vigilant creatures, sought to inherit not only their protective prowess, but also their divine favour, thus ensuring dynastic continuity and enriching their sacred aura. In scenes from everyday life, artists captured cats lounging under chairs, playfully pawing at linens or gently interacting with children, their painted whiskers twitching with the imagined joys of domestic living. These depictions reveal the cat's ubiquitous presence, echoing their roles as faithful companions and skilled pest controllers. Through these images, one senses the scratch of a soft paw on dusty floors, or the delicate thud of cat feet padding under dinner tables. These silent watchers of daily rhythms were woven into the fabric of home, seen not just as practical allies but as symbols of household prosperity and peace. Within the scented haze of temple incense, cats transcended earthly roles, becoming depicted as eternal guardians in carved stone and vibrant murals, always looming. Their vigilant eyes watched over the sacrosanct, reinforcing their duty to protect the sacred against the nefarious. These depictions near deities served as reminders that cats were both watchful and mischievous spirits, tasked with preserving order in a world teetering on chaos. They were anchors in sacred spaces, ensuring harmony endured in both the mortal and divine realms. Artists of the ancient world spared no effort in capturing the unique essence of these creatures, employing a diverse array of techniques. Whether chiselling stone or brushing colour onto papyrus, they composed a visual lexicon that balanced realism and symbolism. Some cats emerged as lifelike statues painted with gold leaf, while others appeared in abstract form, shrouded in mystery and the profound mystique of their dual nature. Amidst hieroglyphs and symbols, Each cat portrayed served not just as art, but as a storytelling device, capturing the saga of life's celestial interplay. The cat's nocturnal nature, their tendency to straddle shadows, granted them an aura steeped in duality and mystery. Artworks portrayed them half in shadow, their eyes gleaming from the dusk, capturing their intriguing existence between sunlight and the mysteries of the night. This dual nature resonated with Egyptian cosmology, wherein the balance of life and death, light and dark, played out in harmonious symmetry. Cats embodied this mystery, navigating both realms and embodying the elemental forces at play in the universe. Through art, these cherished creatures became cornerstones of cultural narrative, reflecting myths and values through their many felid faces. Whether etched in stone or stroked across papyrus, they served as chroniclers of an era, preserving stories where they both dwelled as cherished companions and divine emissaries. Their portrayal became a narrative device, weaving threads of divinity, protection, and fertility into Egypt's cultural fabric. This legacy, eternally purring through time's corridors, reminds us of their sacred place in history, a testament to the resilience and enchanting mystery these creatures inspire. In ancient Egypt, the allure of cats stretched well beyond mere fondness, intertwining with the vibrancy of its religion and society. At the heart of this feline admiration lay mummified cats, revered offerings to Bastet, the cat goddess. These were not just spiritual tokens, but pivotal elements of the temple economy. Temples housed extensive catteries, bustling with cats destined for mummification, a profound religious act that walked hand in hand with the secular. The fervent desire for divine favour fueled an insatiable appetite for these sacred relics, with devotees purchasing mummified cats to present to Bastet, hoping their prayers might find special favour. However, as the demand intensified, temples grappled with the immense pressure to maintain supply. Cats were bred on an industrial scale, transforming this once sacred act into an economic machinery where veneration met commodification. The thin line between reverence and exploitation blurred, leading to a burgeoning black market where the divine symbols were traded as commodities, stripping them of sanctity to mirror human greed. It wasn't long before profiteers sought to exploit this further. As temples struggled to keep pace with the demand, enterprising smugglers saw an opportunity. They dove into the illicit trade with counterfeit feline mummies, manipulating the faithful's piety for profit. Operating from shadows, these shadowy figures ventured to mimic authentic processes with counterfeit means, creating mummified figures that dared to masquerade as sacred artifacts. These fraudulent acts transformed genuine mummies into a tangled web of deception and diluted authenticity under the noses of the devout and the guardians of faith. The exposure of temple precincts teeming with fraudulent mummies inevitably sparked scandal. Discoveries of these false relics, both in temples and buried deep within the sands of time, resulted in waves of disbelief and anger. The realization that even sacred acts could be sullied by avarice was an affront to the devoted and a sobering acknowledgement of human fallibility. Some temples attempted to distance themselves from the deceit, loudly decrying these acts while quietly indulging in the undetectable excesses of profit. It was, after all, a power struggle not just of faith, but of survival, as maintaining Bastet's blessing remained essential to the temple's influence. The priests, caught in a delicate predicament, often veered into denial and deflection, portraying themselves as victims of external corruption. Their rhetoric wove narratives of outsiders undermining the sacred integrity of their inventories. To deny responsibility and maintain public faith, they skillfully employed a blend of religious assurance and shrewd diplomacy. The scale of breeding required meticulous management. The industry was as much sacred as it was economic, treading the thin line between devotion and dissemination. The temple's economics hinged on these vast breeding facilities, reminding us of the paradox where spiritual dedication intersected with commercial necessity. For struck balance, priests introduced authenticity verification rituals, grand public ceremonies supposedly imbued with divine insight to detect fraud. These dramatic rituals played on both reverence and fear, powerfully cementing the temple's role as sanctifiers of truth and enacting a dissonant measure of spiritual and psychological theatrics. The vast underground of sacred trafficking necessitated legal oversight. Supposedly, decrees and laws emerged to manage cat mummification, intertwining legislative watchfulness with religious intent. It was a tango of legality and spirituality, balancing faithful observance against commercial manipulation. The impact of this sacred romance-turned-commercial tale did not stop within temples. It seeped into folklore, embedding narratives of greed, deception, and divine justice into Egypt's cultural fabric. Stories about cat thieves, moral piety, and divine retribution echoed through time, shaping new societal perceptions and infusing them into tales of both profound belief and inherent caution. Centuries later, archaeology brought these tales full circle. As tombs yielded their secrets, revealing genuine and straw-stuffed counterfeit feline mummies, history's whispers found voice in tangible form. The stories morphed from fanciful legend to concrete truth, sparking renewed interest and cultural introspection into Egypt's spiritual commerce. These discoveries speak to a society capable of wondrous reverence and human deceit. Each mummified cat, genuine or not, echoing a tale of faith intertwined with human aspiration and fallibility. As empires fell and gods faded, these mummified relics survived, bridging the past with the present. Their legacy whispers of an intriguing dance of belief and commerce that ancient Egyptians composed, offering lessons in humanity's longing for the divine. Though temples crumble, the sacred economy of cats remains a testament to our perpetual endeavour to cradle the divine within our grasp, echoing through time even as the mummified cats rest, silently observing the mortal interplay between faith and fallibility. In the silent moonlit corridors of ancient Egypt, whispers suggested that cats were not just divine protectors, but ethereal beings that danced the line between guardians and ominous omens. During the day, these felines enjoyed reverence, yet with the dusk they transformed into elusive night walkers. Imagine the chill of a desert breeze carrying the tales of cats whose eyes glowed like embers, messengers for the goddess Bastet, who travelled through the shadows to observe human deeds. Their nightly patrols could bring warnings, blessings, or curses, depending on the virtues or sins they had witnessed. This dual nature of cats was both fascinating and frightening, comforting the righteous and filling the unscrupulous with dread. After sunset, the eerie quiet was often pierced by the cries of these creatures, a bone-chilling reminder of their presence. Ancient narratives tell of how those who mistreated cats during the day would face inexplicable misfortunes at night. Was this poetic justice or mere coincidence? Egyptians did not take chances employing amulets and rituals to deflect the ire of these feline spirits. Such beliefs were stitched into the very fabric of their lives. a haunting reminder that divine protection danced closely with ominous prophecy. Felines were seen as agents of retribution, their actions signalling more than caprices. They were acts of divine will. Tales spoke of warnings ignored, leading to nocturnal visits by cats enacting Bastet's righteous judgment. Such stories weren't easily dismissed as myth. Did they bear a seed of truth? Perhaps cultural belief shaped perceptions, elevating ordinary feline aggression to signs of divine displeasure. These moments prompted households to seek out priests to interpret the grievances of these sacred beings. The ensuing offerings and rituals were reflections on moral transgressions, urging communities to seek redemption. The fear of feline vengeance inadvertently reinforced the societal order, urging individuals towards integrity and collective reflection on their actions. In their wisdom, Egyptians didn't merely cower in fear. They armed themselves against cat demons with amulets, beautiful in their craftsmanship and potent in purpose. Crafted using precious metals and adorned with hieroglyphs, these talismans were believed to hold Bastet's essence. She whispered protection to the wearer, ensuring a spiritual shield against malicious forces. Alongside these were spoken incantations, learned from temple priests, promising to turn aside any feline-born misfortune. This practice underscored the complex dance of fear and devotion, binding faith and superstition into their daily lives. Their literature brimmed with tales where cats uncaged their fury upon those who dared offend Bastet, casting narratives that interwove morality with dark storytelling, leaving audiences both in awe of the cat's mysterious powers and wary of their own shortcomings. These stories, shared in communal spaces and etched into temple walls, kept the enigmatic aura of cats alive, reminding the people of the fine line between blessing and curse. Priests played a pivotal role as mediators, standing as buffers between divine whim and mortal life. Their deep knowledge of rituals and law served to calm fears and reassure the people, drawing together community and faith into a cohesive whole. The priests' interventions weren't simply ceremonial, they were crucial, preserving societal harmony and justifying their spiritual authority. Through precise rituals, they guided communities to perform the rites necessary to placate an angered goddess. Rituals to appease these supernatural cats were elaborate, a blend of offerings and performances designed to quell divine displeasure. These gatherings, laced with communal prayers, songs and sometimes grand feasts, were times of not just divine petition, but social cohesion. Through shared acts of atonement, community bonds strengthened as they vied for celestial favour. These feasts underscored how deeply rituals and daily life intertwined, resonating with sensory intensity and highlighting the delicate dance between revered deities and their mortal subjects. Yet, it's essential to understand how the spectre of feline retribution reached into the Egyptian psyche, becoming a driver for societal norms. The ever-present fear of invoking Bastet's wrath-shaped behaviour, an unseen governor of social interaction. Their belief structures provided paths for navigating this fear, using folklore and ritual to mitigate its shadowy potential, thereby illuminating their resilience and adaptability under divine scrutiny. This precarious balance between faith and fear was embodied in the deity herself. Bastet's dual nature, as both nurturing and vengeance incarnate, was more than mere legend. It was a living expression of human complexity, challenging Egyptians to weave their lives in harmony between reverence and awe. This interplay reverberated far beyond Egypt's borders, its influence rippling through neighbouring civilizations that absorbed these feline-centred beliefs into their own cultural and spiritual frameworks. Today, despite the passage of millennia, these legendary cats live on, etched into Egypt's cultural memory and modern consciousness. Whether in a prowling silhouette under the Egyptian moon, or in the stories that captivate our imagination, these ancient felines offer more than historical curiosity. They remind us of a time when mystery reigned and life was a tapestry woven with the sacred and the unknown. A time where perhaps the shadow still held whispers of feline grace and unyielding reverence. In the rich tapestry of ancient Egypt, the cat held a special place, a revered creature intertwined with the essence of both divine favour and daily life. As reverence for the feline goddess Bastet flourished, temples once echoed with the devotion of worshippers whose lives revolved around these enigmatic creatures. Yet time, with its unending sands, brought changes that swept away the grandeur of these temples. The grand rituals faded, yet some things linger, refusing to be forgotten. The story of this decline offers a glimpse into how societies transition, reshaping customs while whispers of the past persist, echoing through oral traditions and artifacts. Today, as one wanders through the modern-day streets of Cairo or the quiet villages by the Nile, it's clear the legacy of feline reverence hasn't entirely vanished. Cats roam freely, and they are fed and cared for by those who perhaps unknowingly tap into ancient pasts. The sight of shopkeepers leaving food for stray cats is a common one, and a silent nod to the protective roles cats once played. This is more than a mere act of kindness. It is a continuity of belief that a cat's presence brings well-being and wards off ill fortune, a living heritage of their ancient guardian status. The story of Egypt's cats didn't just stay confined to its borders. Stories of this feline dedication trickled out centuries ago, carried by travellers who marvelled at the devotion and brought tales back home. Over time, the mysterious aura of the cat as a supernatural figure seeped into other cultures, weaving itself into medieval European folklore. Even today, echoes of their mythos persist in our global storytelling, where cats continue to embody mystique and allure, drawing lines back to their sacred beginnings. From the supernatural whispers of the Sphinx to modern pop culture figures with feline traits, cats have created a lasting impact on global myths and legends. Modern storycrafters often resurrect feline figures in films, literature, and visual art, drawing from their rich symbolism. Cats, balancing between domestic familiarity and mystical otherworldliness, speak easily to our imaginations. Picture the Cheshire Cat with its elusively cryptic smile, mirroring ancient Egyptian beliefs tied to mystery and independence. In visual arts, the feline figure emerges time and again, a muse for those exploring themes of grace and enigma. The ancient boundaries where the known and the unknown meet still capture our collective imagination, making every portrayal resonate anew. Currently, archaeologists continue to unearth the secrets of ancient cat worship, with discoveries that shed light on the vibrant cult of Bastet. Sites like Saqqara reveal mummified cats, bronze relics, and finely crafted amulets that point to the profound importance of cats in Egyptian life, both sacred and mundane. These treasures, unveiled to the world, revive tales of temple cats and reaffirm their significance in keeping the pulse of religious and social practices alive. They offer more than historical artifacts. They reconnect us with the lives and rituals of a people who saw their feline companions as divine. In today's digital era, The cat has found a new throne, a virtual one, where its antics are celebrated by millions. From grumpy cat's disdainful gaze to the whimsical neon cat, the internet has its own pantheon of feline icons. This global adoration mirrors the ancient Egyptian affection in a distinctly modern form. Such digital jubilation echoes past reverence, a testament to the cat's enduring charisma and our ongoing fascination with its curious allure. What was once sacred is now shared with just a click, connecting people through shared adoration. In academic circles, interest in Egypt's feline history rises, prompting scholars to dig deeper into the past for insights into their profound cultural roles. Cats unravel themes of power, spirituality, and daily existence, providing a unique lens through which Egyptologists can explore ancient life. Artistic depictions and textual references shed light on cats as treasured protectors and spiritual symbols, cementing their place in the academic world. These studies ensure the narrative of the feline continues to inform and inspire, reaffirming the timeless connection between humans and their revered companions. Yet their allure isn't just an academic pursuit. Pop culture revels in reimagining these feline deities, weaving them into compelling tales. From the nuanced Catwoman to magical creatures in literature, such portrayals keep the legacy of sacred cats alive, captivating a new generation. This continuous adaptation underscores the enduring allure of feline mythology, bridging tales of old with the imaginations of today's storytellers. By mixing ancient symbolism into contemporary stories, creators nurture a dialogue across ages, contributing fresh stories of wonder and admiration. In Egypt, reverence translates into action, influencing veterinary practices and animal welfare. The significant place cats hold ensures that care and empathy are deeply ingrained, with a focus on well-being and coexistence. Veterinary clinics and welfare programs reflect a society's long-standing respect for its feline allies, intertwining ancient reverence with modern empathy. The bond that Egyptians share with cats continues to flourish, a narrative of protection rooted in tradition and sustained through practice. Ultimately, the cats of ancient Egypt remain as mystical and inspiring as ever. These relics of history and symbols of cultural resilience remind us of the deep ties between humanity and its animal companions. They encourage reflection on the complex ways these creatures have shaped our perceptions of the sacred and the mundane. As we unearth more truths of their past, these whiskered shadows grow clearer, inviting us to explore the enduring mysteries they embody. If you've enjoyed this dive into the curious tales of ancient Egyptian cats and wish to discover more fascinating stories, consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us bring more captivating historical narratives straight to you.